It's time for another edition of SIRE TV, Success in Real Estate, with your host, Robert Burke. Join Robert and his guests, some of the country's leading experts on real estate investing, as they show you how you can purchase properties tens of thousands of dollars below true market value. So whether you are looking for your personal dream house, a fantastic rental property, or you want to buy, fix up, and resell for profit, this is the show for you. Robert will also share his amazing networks of lenders who are loaning on real estate all across the country. Your financial success is just around the corner. And now, the host of the Success in Real Estate program, Robert Burke.
Welcome everybody to another edition of SIRE TV. We're going to have another jam-packed show here with some really exciting guests, some real knowledge that's going to help you with your real estate investing. Our first guest on this show is Kurt Carlton. He's with Sherman Bridge, a hard money lender. We've had him on the show before, but this is such a vital part of success for investors nowadays. We want to have him on and have him on often and talk about hard money lending and some of the experiences that he has, and he can share those with you so you can learn and hopefully it will help you grow your business and become more successful. Again, Kurt, welcome back to the show. Glad to have you.
Happy to be here again.
Well, okay, we've had you on here before. You're a great guest. You have a company that does hard money lending. Explain, because we have a lot of people who are maybe seeing this show for the first time. Before we get into some other things, tell us briefly about Sherman Bridge hard money lending and what it is that you guys do.
We started 6 years ago, and for real estate investors, if they can find properties at a discount, they can fix them up. They get to capture this big equity spread in the deal. They get all this sweat equity. They buy a house that's worth, let's just say $100,000, they buy it for 50, they spend 20 fixing it up, they got 30 grand in equity. So if they can find those deals, they want to buy as many of them as they can. And they really want to make their cash stretch. So they come to somebody like me, they put a little bit down, we lend them the rest of the money to buy the property, and then we even lend them the money for the repairs. Banks typically aren't doing this type of lending. Right?
That's what I was going to say. You guys you're kind of like this source that's needed because the typical traditional financing sources are not out there. They're not available. If you go to a bank and you've got a property that's got some dings to it, it's not a perfect deal, they're not going to loan on it. But that's something you guys understand the investor. You've done this before, so you understand what they're going through and what their needs are, and you'll loan money on those type of deals.
If you go to a bank, they're used to working with a house that you're buying for 100% of its value and it's in perfect condition and everything works. Our product is designed specifically for investment properties that have some dings on them. And it's designed for that. And it's meant for real estate investors, where a bank product is meant for a homeowner that wants to live in the house.
Yeah. Well, and I like having you on the show because this is, like I mentioned earlier, this is a big part of success in real estate, is having this. I've said this a couple of times, but it's kind of like that golden ticket. It's something that you have where you can go and you've got this lender who understands what you're doing. They're wanting to loan. You guys are wanting to loan money on these deals. You're looking for these type of deals, and you're there. You're kind of the investor's best friend, I would say.
Yeah, we guide them along a little bit. It's not always a smooth sailing.
Well, now that we're talking about that, we want to you're going to be on the show quite a bit because we want to talk about this. And if people around the country are looking for a hard money lender, they can go to our website and they can fill out the form there, and it basically we'll get back with them and get in touch with them and let them know of a hard money lender in their area. So that's what's great about that. But every time you're on here, we want to talk about some specific things. And one of the things I want to talk about, as a hard money lender, you've been an investor, you've been a lender. Kind of what are some of the things that you would look out for? What are the type of deals that come to you that you like doing? What are some of the deals that you would tell people to kind of stay away from?
Well, one of the ways that I've gathered most of my experience, I didn't even really think about it till recently, but 6 years ago when we started getting into this business, we were real estate investors back then. And we kind of knew a lot of people in the market, but we weren't lending money. And the crisis had happened, it was 2008, all that. There were a lot of hard money lenders that were in a lot of trouble. In fact, there wasn't one that wasn't in a lot of trouble. And we kind of went around and talked to them all. Back then they were doing this big auction thing called REDC. That was the auction company that was auctioning off all the foreclosures for big banks and all that stuff. We had the idea we would go around and talk to all these hard money lenders and represent them at the auction, get all their legacy property that they had taken back and all that. So we gathered up about 80, 90 properties in the Dallas-Fort Worth area from all these lenders. And we took them to auction, and they tried to sell them at auction and all that, and we represented them. But what I learned from that experience is I got to see every property that didn't work for those lenders. And there was a pattern that I saw. Every property, almost every single one of them was identical. It was like we were driving all these houses in the beginning when we were doing our due diligence, and it seemed, we'd go to this house and it was like, weren't we just at this house? They were all these crappy wood frame houses, about the same value range, same style of neighborhood, same scenario over and over and over again. So that's led me to develop underwriting guidelines to avoid those types of houses.
So what is different now? Now we're in 2014. What is different between now and 2008 in the real estate market and the loans that you're doing?
Well, values have gone up. They're staying steady. People are lending. One of the unique things right now is there's a lot of pent-up demand for housing. We're finally starting to kind of stabilize right now. But, if you think about it, if you were a family and your family was, you husband and wife and 3 kids that turned into 4 kids, and you're growing your family, but in 2008, 2009, 2010, you might not have the consumer confidence to go out and buy a new house to upgrade because you don't know what's going to happen with the economy. You didn't know about what the future of your job was going to be. Still, with all the stuff that just rolled out with Obamacare, with Dodd-Frank, still a lot of people don't know what their future is going to be. So people really didn't buy houses in that span of time at the level which historically they had when they've expanded and grew their families and increased their income and such. Now, people are becoming confident right now. The stock market is raging and everything's going good. And people are all that pent up demand is getting out there. So the market's just on fire in just about every city in America.
But as an investor, what if I'm wanting to get into this as a business? I want to start, trying to make money in real estate, and I want to go out there and find deals, and I want to try to come to you to get loans so I can purchase these deals. As an investor, let's say a new investor, what would you tell me the type of deals to stay away from? What do you see are the deals that really are working in today's market?
Well, every market is different, so the price points are different as to what people look to afford in those areas. But I like to stay above, what FHA financing would be at. That way, you're in conventional financing when you resell the house. If you're buying, fixing, and selling the house. Because you get more qualified people, the loan process is a lot easier. People are typically putting more money down.
So you're going to stay away from the kind of the bottom type of properties that are out there, the kind of properties that I did when I first started. You're going to kind of encourage somebody to stay away from those and maybe focus a little bit on something a little bit nicer.
A little bit nicer. I mean, properties are selling right now. The nice thing about the market right now in just about every city is it's probably the safest time if you're a new investor jumping into this to actually get involved in real estate. Because if you can find the deal, your job's pretty much done at that point. I mean, it rehabs, it sells very easily. Things are flying right now. The problem is finding the deal.
Exactly. We only have about another minute or so, but one thing that I wanted to cover was we have all these hard money lenders around the country, and people can go to the website and we'll send you to the proper one. But a lot of people are going to want to go do that on their own. There's some hard money lenders out there, some policies that hard money lenders have that they should stay away from. Briefly tell us some of the things you should stay away from when you're looking or talking to a hard money lender.
You got to be careful because, not all of these guys are always great guys. But one of the things out there, if they want a big lump of money up front, now if they ask you for money because they're going to order an appraisal, which you're going to receive a copy of and things like that, that's okay. That's normal. But if they want to get all their points, their origination points they're charging you up front before the deal closes, meaning, if the value comes in low or whatever and you want to back out, they don't give you back the money. That's something that happens out there, unfortunately. You should never pay up front for the fees.
Exactly. That always bothers me, and I tell people to run from that because I've just seen too many guys who make a living charging $600, $700, $800 to kind of analyze your deal, and they're not really closing deals. You guys have done how many millions of dollars have you guys done since you started your program?
Maybe $100
million.
But what I would stay away from too is anyone who's not ordering appraisal. If the lender's doing the value himself, I would stay away from that too.
Yeah.
That's just absurd to let the lender do that. That should be a third party. That should be an appraisal, which you receive a copy of.
Right. So you're actually getting something for money. You're going to have to pay something up front. But to pay for some guy's time to go out there and look at the property, stay away from that stuff. Anyway, I love going through this stuff. We're going to have you on many times in shows coming up to talk about in detail other things for people to watch out, things that they should do, shouldn't do, hard money lending around the country. Again, go to our website. We'll tell you about our hard money lenders that we have around the country. Again, Kurt, thanks for being here. Great to have you. As always, don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Kurt Carlton with Sherman Bridge Lending, and I'm here to deliver our real estate finance tip. Tip number 1, if you're going to buy a distressed property, deals are too hard to come by to let a lender screw it up where you don't close on time. So you got to ask your lender, can you close in 7 days? If the lender says it's going to take them 8, you've got to walk away. Make sure that they can close on time because you don't want to lose your deal and all that equity that you found in it. I'm Kurt Carlton with Sherman Bridge, and that's been tip number 1 for you.
The SIRE TV program, brought to you in part by Appraisal Save, your half-price nationwide home appraisal service. Sherman Bridge, America's #1 rehab lender.
Welcome back, everybody. I definitely want to thank our last guest, Kurt Carlton with Sherman Bridge, hard money lender. Again, if you're looking for money, if you're needing financing for your real estate deals, go to our website, siretv.tv. We have hard money lenders around the country. We're glad to help you with that. Our next guest is a good friend of mine. He's been on the show several times. Matthew Elmer with the Real Alliance. Welcome back to the show, Matthew.
Thanks. It's good to be back, Robert.
Glad to have you here. And you've got one of my favorite guests that we had on our radio show.
Yeah.
Kamran Baluch. Is that right?
Yes,
I'm
that's
sorry if I murdered that. It's tough for me. But welcome to the show anyway, Kamran.
Thank you.
Matt, tell us real briefly about Real Alliance and what you guys do, why you're here on this show.
Yeah, well, we create a new solution for people that want to create small businesses in real estate investing. And so we do it through teaching them, educating them, creating the systems, and basically giving them a franchise-like process to build a real estate investing business.
We've had you on here several times, and we've talked about the Real Alliance and the training programs that you have. You have these one-day free programs where people can come kind of get a feel for you, your company, what you have to offer. You've got these 3-day programs. It's worked very well. It is definitely a way for people who want to make money in real estate. It is one of the avenues that we talk about. That's why we have you on the show. But I always it's one thing to talk about it,
Right.
you know. It's great to have the actual experience of somebody who's been through it and can tell their story. And Kamran, we had you on our radio program, and you had this fantastic story, and I still talk about it to this day. I've probably talked about it several times on our television program. But tell us again how you got into this, and you did a couple of deals, and it was kind of discouraging. Give us kind of the background of that story real quickly.
Yeah, sure. The first couple of deals, I just got out of college, didn't know anything about real estate, and thought this should be pretty easy. So we went ahead and I went into a condo fix and flip. The owner of the building ended up selling half of the units for under what we just purchased, so immediately went into short sale, and we didn't know how to handle it from there, so we took a loss. And then the next one was a commercial development. The co-signer backed out at the last minute, and we tried to find another co-signer, so we ended up just selling the land and ended up doing a break even on those 2 deals.
So you were kind of, I guess, a little depressed and maybe thinking about not doing this, moving on to something else, right?
Yes. I was like, oh, should I get an actual job? And
wouldn't that be terrible? We don't want to do that. Well, so then you met Matt.
Yes.
And you started, you went through his program. Explain to us kind of how that happened and your experience with them.
Sure, yeah. I was led over to the Real Alliance with Matt Elmer, and there was a 3-day course. So I immediately wanted to take that. On the first day of the 3-day course, it's highly informational. So we picked up our first property that day.
Now, so what you met him and you're going through his class.
Yes.
In this 3-day class, and really your first day, in the middle of the lunch break, you actually kind of have picked up enough information that you go out and put a deal under contract, right?
Yes, immediately started calling him during the lunch break and set it up for 7 p.m. after the class. And
that's amazing. That's
couldn't
great.
see
What a
anything.
story.
So
We're not for the faint of heart. So if you're serious, that's what we do. You know, we get you in action. If you do it during the 3-day, you get a much greater chance of doing it afterwards.
So you continued and went through the 3-day class.
Yes, we
Okay.
did.
And on that particular deal, this house that you kind of put into works during lunch break and went in that evening after the first day class, what happened with that particular house?
that particular house, we actually had squatters in the house, and we had to remove them first. And then we got electricity on and was able to see what we actually needed to do. So we had like pool issues, remodel the whole entire house, just pretty much in and out. So then we ended up selling it before it went on the market and made a profit of $24,155.
Not bad.
Yeah.
And so from that, it kind of changed the attitude a little bit. I would think that would. And then since then, you have closed
We did 25 deals last year.
last year.
Yeah, very
25
first year.
deals. Wow. That's a pretty good story. Now, when you met him, Matt, when you first met Comrade, what did you think? What was kind of your impression?
Well, I've learned really quickly that rapid and massive action quickly is the key to success. And so I can usually tell by the end of the first day, the people that are after it already, we give them enough information to take action. And those are the people that are going to have the quickest success. Now, we work with the people that are slow too, and
Right.
we've been blessed that most of them actually buy properties as well within about 6 months. But people like Kamran, you know, they go after it right away. It's not unlikely for them to see their first deal within 30, 60 days.
Now, again, the thing I like about the Real Alliance, your program, is you have these classes, you have these courses. A lot of people do that. I mean, let's be honest. You see that all the time on television. Their company's been around even longer than the Real Alliance.
Sure.
The thing I like about you guys, and Kamran, I want you to speak on this, if you will, is the fact that these guys are here and you can go visit them. Now, your offices are here in the Dallas, Texas area, but somebody can go to these courses all over. They can come in and take this course anywhere. It works anywhere across the country, and you're still available for these people too. I mean, they can come, they can call you at any time, they can talk to you anytime, and to me, that's a big benefit to have that kind of relationship.
Yeah, except for 3 o'clock in the morning.
At
but,
3
yeah.
o'clock in the morning. Except me. Now, you said I can call you at 3 o'clock.
That's right.
But, Comrade, tell us, the difference that made. Why do you think that this program is different than some of the others? I know there are people out there who are thinking about doing this, and they can do whatever they want to. We talk about a lot of different opportunities and different ways you can make money. But what's your experience, and why would you recommend that? Why did it work so well for you?
It worked really well because we had constant mentorship. 1 month after I joined the Real Alliance, I received phone calls on short sale leads, and I had no idea how to do one. So I was calling Matt immediately, and he was walking me through the process about an hour and a half on the phone. So immediate mentorship, a community, a group where everyone helps everybody succeed. That's very important.
I agree with that too. I made this mention on one of our shows that it's kind of like, I've gone to church since I was a little kid, and there are some times when you don't make it to church on Sunday, and you can still kind of worship, but there's something about being around a group of people, and people who are kind of celebrating the same cause or the same goals that really kind of uplifts you and really propels you, I think, to greater success. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Yes, the synergy that we get meeting as a group every Thursday, it just creates more drive.
Yeah.
If I missed one, I would be just down.
It's like AA meetings. Why do they do that? There's a reason for that. Now, we have some pictures of a property that you're currently doing.
Yes.
You've just recently done it. We've got some pictures of it up here on the screen. Let's take a look at this and walk us through this. This is a property here in Dallas on
Yes.
Salisbury.
Yes.
And you bought it about how long ago?
We actually bought this one 10 months ago.
Okay, this is the before picture.
Yes,
the
before.
Before the house. Okay, let's go on. This is another picture before.
This is the formal dining and living room
Okay.
with 4 layers of wallpaper. On the
Four,
back.
4 layers of wall.
On the back.
And this is kind of the hallway in that same room.
Yes, the
Okay.
entryway.
Let's move on. This is the entryway after you've redone it. You can see that looks really nice.
Yes, we did an intricate tile design.
That's the dining room.
Yes, formal dining room.
This is the kitchen.
And that's the before or the after that?
This is the after
That's the
kitchen.
after, right? That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That looks nice.
I could live there.
Yeah.
We had to open up the wall.
This was the bathroom before.
Yes, on the bathroom we had to open up the wall again.
So you've
create it
taken
more
down
open.
that wall. This is the same picture. This is the actual before and
Yes,
after.
that's the same exact angle.
Again, I could live in this house.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we've got kind of the information about the deal. You purchased this property for what, $189,000.
189,000.
You put about 54,000 into it.
That's correct.
And you have it listed right now for $319,000.
319,900. Yes.
Pretty decent profit after closing on. But one thing, we've only got a minute here, but we want to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly of all this stuff. Tell us, you ran into some problems with this house. You've been doing this for a while. You're kind of a seasoned pro now, but what were some of the problems you had with this?
Yes, one of our problems was that the sewer pipe was cast iron. It was corroded and it was raising the house up. So we had to immediately seal that off. Then while it was settling, we found out that the foundation was sitting on top of another foundation.
And I've never heard of that, but okay, anyway, go on.
Yeah, so we had to raise the house again and then air hammer down the foundation about 4 more inches to make it more level.
Yeah.
And then the gas pipe on the right side of the house started leaking.
Because your average deal only takes you how long?
Yeah, average deal only takes about 45 days to read.
Yeah, I noticed this is a little bit longer than normal. You ran into some problems, but you still got a healthy profit there.
Yes.
But, we want people to realize that, it's not a get-quick type of program.
Yeah.
It's certainly not. It can be at times, but it's not overall. And you're going to run into some hiccups, and people who are out there who are just getting into this, you're going to run into some problems.
Support's the key.
Yeah.
If you got support around you, you can solve those problems.
Hey, look, guys, we got to run. It goes by fast. Cameron, thanks for being here. You got an inspirational story. I'm going to continue to talk about it. I hope you don't mind. And Matt, again, we'll have you on next week. We got some really exciting things to talk about on our next show.
Yeah, really excited about
Great to have you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Robert.
We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Hi, I'm Kurt Carlton with Sherman Bridge, and I'm here to give you tip number 2 about real estate financing. It has to do with the value of the property. If you're going to use a hard money loan to buy a distressed property, you want to make sure no matter what that lender is using a third-party appraiser to do the appraised value. Letting the lender walk over to the property and come up with the value of the property is just as crazy as letting the borrower come up with the value of the property. It's always going to come in low. You need an appraisal. I'm Kurt Carlton with Sherman Bridge.
The SIRE TV program, brought to you in part by New Western, America's #1 source for investment properties. The Real Alliance, leading individuals to success through real estate investing.
Welcome back, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed this edition of the SIRE TV program. I want to thank our guest, Kurt Carlton from Sherman Bridge. He's kind of our hard money spokesperson. It's great to have him on here and talk about the do's and the don'ts, what works, what doesn't work. These lenders that we have around the country, we refer to them as hard money lenders. And I guess the reason you do that is because they're not your typical lender. They're not your traditional lender. They will loan money on properties that need work done on them. And most of your traditional lenders are not going to do that. It's always great to have him on there, on the show. If you have questions, because he's going to be on our show quite frequently, if you have questions that you would like me to ask him on your behalf, shoot me an email. You can go to our website. There's a comment page. I go through that every week. There are questions that are asked of me. I reply to those. Some of them I'll ask on the show. I like to know the pulse of our audience and what they're looking for. And there's some things that I forget to ask. These segments go by very quickly. There's always so much more that we want to cover. That's why we have them on, several weeks at a time or week after week. Because of that. But go to siretv.tv and send me a comment, question, anything you want, and be happy to bring that up in our next show or even reply directly to you. I'm the only one who reads those emails, so tell me whatever you want to. And it'll be between you and I, unless we share it on our national television show, of course. But I do want to thank Kurt. He's a great guy and a great guest, and the company that they have doing hard money loans here in Texas, they're just really good. But we do have hard money lenders throughout the United States. So go to the website. There's a form there that you can fill out. And basically what we will then do is we will have our hard money lender in your particular area get in contact with you. Give us as much information as you can about your deal. They will get back with you very quickly because we know how time sensitive these deals are. Then you can build a relationship with them directly, deal with them directly in the future, and it's a win-win situation for everybody. I also want to thank Matt Elmer from the Real Alliance. What a great company that is. And I know we've had him on the show many times, and each time we try to talk about something different because there are so many topics in regards to real estate. There are so many ways that you can make money in real estate, and they talk about a lot of those. But what I liked about the show today is that we brought on a guy who's, of all the people that we've had on our radio show, on our TV show that I've heard of, it's such an inspirational story. Kamran had done 2 deals on his own. They were disasters. They did not work. One of them he lost money. One of them he was lucky to break even on. And he was so frustrated that he was going to get out of the business. He went to the Real Alliance. That was the way that worked for him. There are going to be other ways that are going to work for you and other people. And that's one thing about our show is that we talk about different things and different ways that you can make money in real estate. But no matter which way it is, there's always a call to action on your part. Now, I don't have any skin in the game. There's no skin off my nose if you don't do anything or if you do something with Matt. We just bring these people to you and let you know about them. But there is a call to action in everything that you do. One of the greatest gifts to mankind was a free gift, but there's a call to action. I stand at the door and knock. You have to open that door, and if you open that door, I will come in. If you open that door, great blessings. If you don't, well, whatever. But whatever you do, it is an action on your part to either do that or not. These ideas, these things that we bring you, that we present to you week after week, you decide if you want to make that call to action. It's your decision, and whatever you do, I wish you the best, okay? But if we can help you in any way, which we hope we're providing that to you on a weekly basis with all these different options, with these guests that we come on, go to the website. We have so many different ways there that you can make money in real estate. You can do it aggressively, like Kamran does, where he goes out there and finds his own deals. You can do it a little bit more passively. We have owner finance mortgages that are for sale. If you have money and you want to make money in real estate and put it into something, but you don't have the time to go out there and do like Kamran does. We also have companies that will put their wholesale properties on our website. Be sure and check that. If you're going to go that route, you need to check it day after day after day, sometimes hour by hour. Great deals on properties, tens of thousands of dollars below real market price. And those are deals for the person who has a full-time job, just getting into this, needs some guidance. I hope you see that that's where our heart is to educate, but also help you in all the different ways that you can make money in real estate. There is not just one way. There are lots of different ways. So be sure to check out our website, siretv.tv. Send me an email. I'll reply, talk about it on the show. Whatever you do, God bless and continued success.
Thank you for watching the SIRE TV program. For more information regarding the contents of this show, please visit our website at siretv.tv.